Safety isn't always about physical aspects of work. It can also be about the digital tools that we work with day in and day out. Today, let's talk about the kinds of threats that originate from both internal and external sources here at MCNA. Understanding and preventing insider threats is an essential topic for MCNA's cybersecurity program. As our work continues to rely heavily on digital platforms, understanding and mitigating the risks associated with cyber threats has become paramount for our organization's security. This part of our discussion will enhance our collective knowledge about one such key risk area, insider threats, and explore how we can work together to mitigate these threats. Insider threats are risks posed by individuals within our organization who have access to sensitive data and systems. This includes not just employees, but anyone with access rights, like contractors or business partners. The impact of insider threats can be vast, affecting us financially, damaging our reputation, or even posing legal risks. Our goal today is not just to understand and identify these threats, but to learn how each one of us can play a part in preventing them. Remember, cybersecurity is not just an IT issue, it's a collective responsibility. Deliberate insider threats are actions taken with harmful intentions. These can be motivated by various factors, including financial gain or revenge. There are also accidental insider threats, which arise from unintentional actions, carelessness, or oversights. This could be a misdirected email or unattended device, for instance. Both types of threats can have serious consequences, which is why it's critical for all of us to stay vigilant and prevent any potential insider threats. Policy violations can also signal a potential insider threat. This could be something as simple as an employee sharing their credentials with others or using personal storage devices without authorization. These activities can create potential avenues for data leaks or unauthorized access. In understanding insider threats, it's crucial that we can identify potential signs of deliberate threats from within our environment. Certain changes in employee behavior or activity can often be a telltale sign of potential insider threats. This includes unusual work habits like trying to access data or areas of the system that aren't necessary for their role, significant changes in work performance, or even changes in their regular work schedule. Also, consider the human aspect. Emotional indicators can often reveal potential insider threats. For instance, employees undergoing stress, expressing dissatisfaction or disgruntlement, or those involved in conflicts at work. Remember, an understanding of these signs can aid in the early detection and prevention of insider threats. So, if you come across any such suspicious activity, it's important that you report it to the IT security team immediately. Preventing insider threats isn't just about spotting potential threats. MCNA also has structured policies and procedures in place designed to reduce the risk of these threats. For instance, we have controls limiting and monitoring access to sensitive information. This means employees only have access to the information that they need to do their jobs. We also have a separation of duties policy in place. This simply means that key tasks aren't controlled by a single individual. By dividing critical functions among multiple employees, we can significantly reduce the risk of unauthorized or malicious actions. Another important policy is the principle of least privilege. This policy involves assigning the minimal levels of access needed for employees to perform their roles. This is a great way to minimize potential damage if an account were to be compromised. Regular audits are another important aspect of our preventive measures. These are routine checks to ensure our policies are being followed and to detect any irregularities or deviations. Adhering to these policies is crucial for reducing risk and ensuring our company remains secure. If you see any violations of these policies, please do report them to your supervisor or IT security. Now, let's shift our focus to another aspect of our cybersecurity strategy, known as Shadow IT. Shadow IT refers to IT systems, software, or services that are used within organizations without official approval. This typically involves employees using applications or services for work that haven't been vetted by our IT department. While these tools might seem harmless or even useful in getting work done, they pose significant security, compliance, and data governance risks. These tools may not meet our organization's security standards or data protection regulations, thereby making our sensitive information vulnerable to cyber threats. An example of shadow IT would be an employee using a personal file sharing application to send work files to their personal email or to a client. As we navigate through this digital landscape, it's crucial to remember the importance of using only approved tools and software for our work. If there's a particular tool or application you believe would aid in your work, discuss it with the IT department first so they can ensure it meets our company's security standards. Let's talk about the role of employee training and awareness in preventing insider threats. Regular, comprehensive training is a crucial tool in equipping employees with the knowledge to recognize and prevent insider threats. This isn't just about knowing the policies, but understanding how to recognize the red flags and the appropriate responses when faced with potential threats. Another critical aspect is employee vigilance. As employees, you are often the first line of defense against insider threats. Staying alert to unusual activities and reporting suspected threats promptly can greatly help in threat detection and mitigation. Also, we encourage proactive learning. Stay up to date with the latest security practices and trends, as this continuous learning helps strengthen our cybersecurity posture. Remember, the protection of our company is a collective responsibility. We all play a part. Moving on to our next topic, let's discuss potential external threats to our company's digital safety. Specifically, the significance of responsible remote access and VPNs. Remote access refers to our ability to access the company's network and resources from a remote location. VPNs, or virtual private networks, are a secure method for remote access that encrypt connections to protect data and maintain privacy. As remote work becomes increasingly common in today's work environment, ensuring secure remote access is critical in safeguarding our company's data and systems. Understanding how to properly utilize these tools is vital for every employee, especially those of us who often work remotely or handle sensitive data. There are risks associated with remote access and VPNs. The first major risk is data interception. Without proper security measures, data transmitted over remote connections can be intercepted, which could lead to the exposure of sensitive information. The second risk is unauthorized access. If a device or account used for remote access is compromised, an attacker could gain access to our company's internal network, potentially leading to significant data breaches or system damage. Finally, there's the risk of malware infection. Devices used for remote work can potentially introduce malware into our network, which can spread quickly and cause considerable harm. By understanding these risks, we can take appropriate precautions when using remote access and VPNs. Now, let's explore some best practices for secure remote access. The first is strong authentication. We strongly recommend using multi-factor authentication, MFA, whenever possible. This adds an extra layer of security by requiring multiple forms of verification to prove your identity when accessing our systems. It's essential to ensure that the devices used for remote access are secure. This means they should have up-to-date software, antivirus protection, and strong, unique passwords. Keeping devices secure minimizes the risk of a breach that could potentially provide unauthorized access to our network. Lastly, we advise against using public Wi-Fi networks for remote work whenever possible. These networks are typically not secure and could leave your data exposed. If you must use a public network, always ensure your VPN is connected. When it comes to VPNs, always ensure your VPN is connected before accessing company resources. This encrypts your internet connection, securing your data from potential eavesdroppers. Additionally, always disconnect from the VPN when not in use. Staying connected continuously could expose you to unnecessary risks. Finally, avoid split tunneling where possible. This means avoiding using your device for non-work activities while connected to the VPN. This practice helps maintain a secure connection and minimizes the risk of exposure. Remember that adherence to guidelines for secure remote access and VPN use is critical for our cybersecurity. Staying updated with the latest security practices, actively participating in training sessions, and vigilantly applying these practices can greatly enhance our overall cybersecurity posture. To wrap things up, let's review some of our main points. Today, we've covered two key aspects of cybersecurity: insider threats and secure use of remote access and VPNs. But it's important to remember that these are just components of a larger picture. Our cybersecurity framework is designed to protect against both internal and external threats. Internal threats, as we discussed, come from within our organization. They could be malicious or accidental, stemming from our employees, contractors, or business partners. Proper understanding, vigilance, adherence to policies, and reporting can help mitigate these risks. External threats, on the other hand, are attempts by individuals or groups outside our organization to gain unauthorized access to our systems and data. These could include hackers, cybercriminals, or even state-sponsored entities. Ensuring secure remote access, correctly using VPNs, and maintaining a strong security posture on all devices used for work can help protect us from these external threats. It's crucial to remember that cybersecurity isn't a one-time event, but a continuous process of learning, adapting, and evolving. We are all part of this process. Your vigilance, adherence to guidelines, and willingness to learn are key to maintaining the security of our digital assets. Thank you for watching. Be safe.